Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a Rapido train's HO scale MLW M420 locomotive with the M420B unit as well. This is sold as a set, and we'll see what you get in the box with these locomotives. The BC rail, or like I like to say, because of rail. But anyway, let's get in the box and see what you get with these ESU LokSound equipped locomotives next. Obviously, I'm going to slide the sleeve out here. You've got the locomotives, and we'll just pick the A unit to unbox because it's all the same experience. As you can see, the locomotive is in a graph or a chart type of form. They're on the front and on the sides, and we already covered the label there. Kind of a diagram type of artwork. Operating manual on one side, French on the other, half and half for the Canadians. But we'll stick with the English side here. Talks about operation in DC, DCC, removing the shell, prototype history, functions, as you can see there. 28 functions listed, and configuration variables to change some sounds, etc. You also get some stickers and another handout for exploded parts diagram in case you need to order parts. Locomotive itself. Oh, wrong way. See what's in this little packet first. Looks like some AEI barcode. It's like predecessor to the barcode. Some other detail parts here. Got a little safety striping piece there that can be added on. It looks like white flags even. So that's all separate part there. Slide this out here. Blister packaging, soft plastic, and hard plastic shell. Just roll that out ever so gently. People say I'm pretty rough with locomotives, but that's gentle for me. Get the handrail protection out. Handrails are looking pretty solid, pretty straight. There's your locomotive out in the wild. So let's take a look at it in closer detail. Alright, we're zoomed in. Got this funky horn mounted on top of the bell. Very odd looking compared to what I've seen before. And then the Sinclair antenna. Truck sanding lines and air suspension kind of ride detail there. On the front, the pilot with the accessory and MU hose windows. There is a metal coupler spring loaded with a magnetic trip pin with the anti-climber. A little bit of a drop step it looks like there, but safety chain on the stanchions. I don't know if those are ditch lights or not. They look a little too small to be ditch lights, but there are two circular openings there. Guess we'll see when we fire that up. I'm not too familiar with BC rail. Also, etched metal windshield wipers, number boards up top, LED headlight, the door, cab doors right there as well. More detail along the side. Looks like maybe a tinted window, or maybe it's just dark. Oh, well, no, it's clear. So it's just dark. It's got a cab interior detail there. It's going to be a little hard to see. You see 641 along the side there. And all the compartment detail. There's the fuel tank there, dead set in the middle, with emergency shut off. On the rear, more lighting, rear lighting, number boards. You have the BC logo there on the radiator fan grill. There is fan grills up top. There's a treaded walkway on this, which we don't cover much, but you can see it's pretty well treaded. And I'll show you a side view of the top here in a moment. Coupler cut lever on the rear. Really nice detail from Rapido. I'm not liking this new setup. It's a little jerky to move around with the camera. But brake wheel there on the back. More fuel shut off and fill up areas here. Etched metal windshield wipers on the rear windows also. Compartment door just aft of the window there. And you have a silver exhaust area here on the top. Alright, let's put this on its side. Derail style. You can see the etched walkway, or the treaded walkway I should say. So it has that metal stamp plating where it gives you some traction for walking around. Speaking of etched metal though, there is see-through steps on this. If I zoom in, you can see the see-through steps. You can see all the way back to my Amtrak units back there. Super liners. Alright, the B unit here. Very, very interesting B unit. Got windows. That would be, you would think, a cab window. I don't think it is. I think because it's a B unit, it's just like an access area. Window to look out. I don't know. Maybe they can sit in some sort of area there. There is an access door to the left of it. Triple antenna configuration up top. There's the same treaded walkway we talked about before. Same truck detail that we talked about before, and obviously same scheme and roof details we've talked about before. Headlight on the front and rear, and really a lot of the same detail. Under the sill you will see a lot of conduit detail there that Rapido likes to do. Got that bunch of conduit there right over the rear truck. And the horn and bell are positioned just to the right here of this nose. So horn and bell is side mounted there. And that is your B unit. There's your A and B units together. You may wonder what this writing is right here above the lights. That's a very, very tiny warning label that I can't really read. It may be legible under magnification. I don't have it, but it's a little tiny warning label that you see on these locomotives apparently. Okay, so we're going to weigh this. Start with the A unit, 472 grams. It's 1 pound and 0.6 ounces, 16.6 ounces total. When I add the B unit to the weight, you have a total of 940 grams, 2 pounds, 1.1 ounces, or 33.1 ounces total, 938 grams again. So there are the weights of the A and B unit together. All right, we're going to start these up and we'll see how they are out of the box speed match. Since they are supplemental units, we'll keep them separate and see how they work. Now both are DCC and sound units, so I wanted to show you how they're speed matched out of the box. Now this is actually the second round of B unit that we're on. The first one did have some kind of jitters at slow speed steps to medium speed steps. They're keeping their distance pretty well on this second unit here. So there are your A&B units of the M420. Let's roll directly into some sound features and lighting features. Right, the first function is actually the headlight. Obviously it's on F0 and functions fine, fades out and in, no problem. You also see on the corner of the windowsill the classification lights. Here's the bell. Horn. F3's flange squeal. Have to move it to get that going. Alright, we're moving it. F3 engaged. Hear the flange squeal there. F4's dynamic brake. F5's Doppler horn. As long as I have it pressed, it's going to do that. Let's see, 6 is ditch lights, which you can see just below the anti-climber lighting up now. 2 sets of ditch lights, one above the anti-climber here, and one below there. So unique BC rail configuration for ditch lights. 7 dims the headlights. 8 start up and shut down, 9's drive hold, 11 is class lights, 10's independent brake, by the way. We're just rolling through some of this here quickly. You can see the class lights illuminate there. With every push of F11, you're going to get a different position of class light with a different color. 3 positions total, so you just saw white, green, red. 12 switching mode, which means the headlight and the rear light will both be on dim. It's appropriate for switching operations or running light on the main line. F13 is rear headlight, F14's radiator fan. '15's model train mode. It basically changes the front and rear lights to operate the old-fashioned way, so you can put forward and reverse. They'll go in that mode when you do that. 16's air dryer, 17's air compressor, 18 is track inspection lights. We'll show you those in the dark. 19's number board lights, we'll show you those in the dark. 20's air dryer, 24's reverser center. The motor will lock so the throttle can move through the notches like the prototype in neutral. 25's isolation switch. While not moving, it'll lower the prime mover and lock the motor. 26 is manual notching up, 27 is manual notching down, and 28 is manual notching on and off. Let's go to dark operations so you can see these class lights, ground inspection lights, etc. Alright, you see the number board lights, the ditch lights, and the track inspection lights now on this model. The B unit has the number boards as well. You can also see some light on the cab interior. I'll show you what that is in a second here. A little hard to tell. I know it's showing as a point of light, but there are interior gauges lit inside of this cab. I can clearly see 3 different gauge lights illuminated, even though it's showing as 1 on the exposure of this dark image with this camera. As you can see on the B unit, you've got lit number boards and the tail light as well. Both ends have this. So one thing people have asked me to talk about, I don't talk about too much, is the Easter eggs. When I hit track inspection lights, you get this little Easter egg. They put different funny sounds and things in here. This is like a wrestling promotion or something. Listen to it. So, a little hard to hear, but basically it's like a wrestling promotion. It sounds like it might be Bigfoot, big vehicles or something. I'm getting hard of hearing, but little Easter eggs like that in all the Rapido models, even though its functions are assigned to like track inspection lights. Doing a pull test here. Looks like about 2 ounces on the A unit by itself, 2.3 ounces. A and B unit together now, pulling at 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, just peaked at 6. So you're talking about 90 regular passenger cars, regular freight cars or more. So it's pretty good for these two together. Split that in half if you just want the A unit, but I believe these run together like all the time. One thing I wanted to do is give you the horn sound separately from the A unit and B unit. B unit I believe is slightly different. I was noticing a difference, and I didn't want them all mixed together because obviously if you do what's proper with model railroading, you'll consist these and not just leave them on the same address. So as you see different horns, you can even see the different horns on the models themselves. Looks like there is a 5 chime on the A unit and just a single horn, 1 chime or whatever you want to call it on the B unit. So those are the differences in horns, just so you're aware. Alright, AccuTrack 2 speedometer is on. We're going to move these forward at 1 speed step. See what scale miles an hour we have out of the box. Moving pretty slow, so I'm going to guess it's about 1 scale mile an hour. Keep in mind, even though the indicator light says kilometers per hour, that's just an indicator light for that it's going to read this. It is not a indicator light of where it's at. It is set to miles per hour, and there you have it at 0.9. Almost perfect right out of the box. While we're moving along here, I'm going to show you the A and B unit together. You can see there's not a whole lot of difference in speed because that distance between the drop steps is staying about the same. You don't see the couplers pushing it together and pulling apart. So really nice set together. Looks really nice. I think they did an excellent job on this. Let's wrap up this review. To summarize, the M420 A and B units are well executed models. They've got really good pulling power together, pretty decent pulling power by themselves, but like I said, I think the prototypes run together all the time. The detail's just insane. All of the lighting features, the interior lights that Rapido's made a standard in most of their models, with the dash lights, the ground effect lights, the Easter eggs, the smooth running. Overall, it is really a great model. So, with that said, I think The NMRA compliance is also good with the wheel sets and the couplers at proper height. I just don't put that on camera all the time. The classification lights, lit number boards, all controllable through independent functions. Makes this a really nice model, especially paired with the ESU LokSound decoder, which has a really nice sound to it. So, that said, I'm going to leave you with a run-by of these just by themselves. I don't really have much BC rail stuff, but these are a unique model that needed to be covered. So we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.
Many of the products you see in this video are available at trainworld.com. Since 1968, this family-owned business has been serving the needs of the modeling community with 2 New York brick-and-mortar store locations in Brooklyn and Long Island, plus their vast array of online items. Shop 24/7 at trainworld.com.